When billionaire Alexander Whitmore returned home earlier than expected, he never imagined the sight that would greet him inside his mansion. His voice cracked in horror as he froze in the doorway. "My God, what is she doing with my son?" On the living room floor, his maid, a 32-year-old black woman named Naomi Carter, was gently guiding 8-year-old Ethan, Alexander's autistic son, through exercises that looked more like therapy than play. Ethan, usually prone to meltdowns, was following her movements, calmer than his father had seen him in months. Naomi stood, wiping her hands on her uniform, and explained softly. Ethan hurt himself trying to climb the stairs. I helped calm him down with some breathing techniques. For the first time in a long while, Alexander saw his son smiling faintly instead of screaming or banging his head against the wall. But instead of gratitude, he burst out laughing with contempt. "You're a cleaner, not a therapist. Don't experiment on my son." His voice was sharp, cutting. Naomi lowered her eyes politely, but there was a flicker in them, not submission, but something else. Knowledge. As though she carried a truth he couldn't grasp. Alexander dismissed her with cruelty, dragging Ethan away by the arm harder than necessary. What he didn't know was that Naomi Carter had once been a respected occupational therapist with a master's degree and 15 years of experience. She had run one of the most successful child therapy clinics in the state until a group of white competitors, led by the ruthless Dr. Charles Harrington, orchestrated a smear campaign that destroyed her career. They accused her of unlicensed practices, bribed inspectors, and fabricated complaints. By the time Naomi cleared her name, her reputation was ruined, her clinic shuttered, and she was forced into cleaning jobs to support her diabetic mother. Now, working silently in Whitmore's house, she endured his arrogance and racism until that day, when he publicly humiliated her. That night, after hearing him yell at Ethan again, she made a decision. She pulled out her phone and began recording. Every scream, every insult, every cruel word hurled at the boy would be captured. She was no longer just a maid. She was gathering evidence. Naomi had powerful connections from her past civil rights activists, investigative journalists, and parents whose children she had once helped. One of them, Marcus Delgado, a well-known reporter, had never stopped pursuing the story of medical corruption that ruined her. When Naomi sent him a message, he responded immediately. Dr. Harrington was already under FBI investigation for insurance fraud. What Naomi revealed next made Marcus pause. She had video proof of Alexander Whitmore's abuse toward his son. As the days passed, Alexander escalated his cruelty. He berated Naomi in front of other employees, slashed her pay, and warned that anyone who dared teach his son would face severe consequences. He forced Ethan to parrot humiliating phrases at the dinner table, saying things like, "Naomi doesn't understand special children." The boy, with tears in his eyes, would whisper apologies to her when his father wasn't looking. Naomi recorded it all. One afternoon, while cleaning Alexander's office, she discovered documents that tied him directly to the conspiracy that had destroyed her career. He hadn't just invested in Harrington's rival clinique, had financed the smear campaign against her, bribing lawyers and inspectors to erase her from the medical field. In a chilling phone call she secretly recorded, Alexander told a partner, "If that black woman's name appears anywhere, burn it. Delete it. She never existed." That was the final piece Naomi needed. She and Marcus built their plan carefully. Alexander was set to receive an Exemplary Father of the Year award at a high-profile charity gala for autistic children. Naomi decided that would be the night his empire collapsed. The evening arrived. The Beverly Hills ballroom glittered with doctors, politicians, and business elites. Alexander, dressed in a flawless tuxedo, posed confidently for photographers. He was moments away from being honored as a model father. The host announced a special documentary before the award ceremony. Alexander leaned back in his chair, expecting praise. The lights dimmed. The giant screen flickered to life. And what played next made the room gasp. Alexander's voice filled the hall, booming over hidden camera footage. "Are you stupid or deaf, Ethan? Stop crying like a baby. Normal kids don't act like this." The screen cut to video after video of Alexander berating his son, threatening staff, and admitting to fraud. Then came the damning emails. "I cannot allow a black woman to dominate the child therapy market. Do whatever it takes to destroy her." Gasps turned into outrage. Dr. Harrington tried to slip away, but FBI agents blocked the exits. Marcus Delgado stepped onto the stage. Dr. Charles Harrington, Alexander Whitmore, you are both subjects of a federal investigation. And then, to thunderous applause, Naomi herself walked onto the stage in an elegant dress. Calm, composed, she introduced herself. My name is Dr. Naomi Carter. I am not a maid. I am an occupational therapist who dedicated 15 years to helping autistic children until this man financed a racist campaign to erase me. She lifted her diploma high for everyone to see. While he humiliated me, I documented how he abused his own child. Alexander, sweating and pale, tried to protest. This is a setup. Lies. But the evidence kept rolling: bank statements, contracts, recordings. The mayor revoked his award on the spot and redirected it to Naomi. FBI agents handcuffed him as the audience erupted in applause. Naomi's victory was not born from vengeance, but justice. Within months, Alexander was sentenced to 12 years in prison for fraud, market manipulation, and child abuse. Harrington lost his medical license and everything he owned. The corrupt network collapsed. 17 others were arrested. Naomi reopened her therapy center, bigger than ever, funded partly by assets seized from Whitmore's empire. Families flooded her clinics. There was a months-long waiting list. And among the children playing in her therapeutic garden was Ethan Whitmore, now living happily with his aunt, thriving under Naomi's guidance. For the first time in his life, the boy smiled every day. As Naomi expanded her centers across the country, she became a symbol of resilience. Harvard offered her a professorship. The city renamed a street in her honor. But her proudest achievement wasn't titles or awards. It was watching Ethan walk confidently, speak clearly, and run into her arms with a smile. One afternoon, Ethan tugged at her sleeve and asked, "Dr. Naomi, why didn't my dad love me the way I am?" Naomi knelt, her eyes soft. "Your dad was sick, Ethan. Not in his body, but in his heart. He didn't know how to love people who were different. But you are perfect just the way you are." And as she hugged him, Naomi realized the truth. The greatest revenge wasn't sending Alexander to prison. It was seeing the child he had abused grow into joy, self-love, and hope. Alexander Whitmore had tried to bury Naomi Carter. But he forgot one thing. When you bury a seed, it doesn't die. It grows.